Today we are talking about rules and regulations and governing and what Paul was trying to speak of when he was talking about rules and regulation and governing. Here's the deal. In our life, we all have rules and regulations we have to follow. When we were born into this world, there was a governing body who set the rules way before we got adults. But as we tend to come to our adult lives, we all think that certain rules don't apply to us when we don't feel like they apply to us. But they do. And that's the problem we have. Some Christians believe that they don't have to follow the government because the government doesn't really follow God. Well, that's not our place to even figure that out or not. Our place is to be obedient. That was the number one rule of being an adult, really, was learning how to be obedient first so we can understand knowledge and use that knowledge to understand the rules and use the knowledge of those rules to live our life accordingly. Because even in the Bible, we have to follow the rules. The whole Bible consists of following God. And if it consists of following God, then it means following the rules. Paul was talking to the Christians about not rebelling against a government that does not care about Christians. Just like in the 21st century today, we have a government right now that really does not care about you, care about me, care about anybody else if it does not get what it wants. We still have to follow the rules of the land and let God be the governing body of the government that he let go into place. See, it's just like with a preacher at church. You can't rebel against the preacher at church if he's wrong. You got to let God take care of that because God put him in that position. So when it comes to the government, we got to pay our taxes like they want, even if we don't like it. We got to follow every rule that comes to the state, city, local wide, even if we don't like it. We got to follow everything, even if we got a dumb president, we ain't got to follow everything he say, but the laws of the land we must follow. Now, common sense kicks in after a while. When you hear some stupid stuff that you know you're not supposed to do in this 21st century, you know not to do it. But Paul was really trying to make everyone know from the government on down that there's one governing person in this world and his name is God. So the government should treat Christians and all like love, no matter if it's the same thought process or foundation or not. Either way it goes, we have to follow rules if we want to get to heaven. And either way it goes, without rules, it will be anarchy all over the place. Try to have a bunch of gorillas in a cage with no rules. See what happens. If there's not one ruling gorilla, it's going to be a problem. Everybody's going to think they're a king. Everybody's going to think they're a ruler. Everybody's going to think they can make rules. And then turn around if everybody's making rules and there are really no set rules to follow. Paul wanted the government to know, look, man, do not mistreat God's children. Even if you don't believe in what they believe in, do not mistreat God's children. And Paul wanted God's children to know, do not mistreat the government because they don't see everything that you see or worship the God that you worship. So basically, just because we don't see eye to eye on things don't mean we're not supposed to respect each other. That's what it comes down to. The governing body puts rules in place so we can respect one another, but also to understand that we have things we have to do in life that coincide with everybody. Paul wanted the Caesar to know that. Paul wanted the Christians to know that because when it comes time, God is going to rule accordingly. And that's what Paul wanted us to understand. Have a good day, people. I pray that everything goes well in our lives. I pray that whoever's affected by coronavirus, I pray that your people get better. I pray that our president gets some sense into his brain to understand that if you're not a doctor, keep your mouth closed and just speak on the things that you know of. And don't throw innuendos out there to people because people are following you and they are not asking any questions. So I ask that our president follows the rules of law and then we follow the rules of law. Then we'll all be okay. And then when we do that, God will see that, hey, things are going the way I want them to go. So again, God can intercede even more. See, the reason why God can't intercede is because we don't follow rules. When you can't get anything from God if you don't follow rules. Just like with kids and everybody else, you can't get anything from anybody if you don't follow rules. There's rules. There's a business and a foundation to this. no matter what it is. That's what Paul wanted us to understand. So we do not become the animals in the zoo, but we become the ones with the brain and the heart and the mind to follow what we need to follow and do what we need to do. God bless everybody.